Hello everyone and welcome to the Grumpy Surfer podcast. I am the Grumpy Surfer and your host, Adz Lice. And before we get started, today we can use some discount codes for you. For 15% off your North Core gear, use the code, capital letters, GrumpyPod15 to get 15% off your purchase. Also, to get your gear, hoodies, t-shirts, or any other merch from the guys at Braw Surf, use the code, again capital letters, Grumpy Surfer, at the checkout to get 20% off your purchase. Today's podcast is going to be a bit of a shorter one, if I'm honest, because I am in Guam, which is a small island in Micronesia. And on the west coast is the Philippines Ocean, and on the east coast is the Pacific Ocean. So it's smack bang between Japan and Hawaii, which is pretty cool. The backstory to that really is about 4 weeks ago, I got a phone call from one of my friends who's an adventure training instructor in the Marines, who asked me to come and provide a bit of surf instruction for the guys that are on the carrier strike group out in the Pacific Ocean at the moment. So they've been to around the South Korea Ocean, around China, Japan, and around those areas, and they're working their way around the Pacific. So I got asked to fly out to Guam and provide a little bit of surf coaching for them, which is pretty cool. Bit of a once in a lifetime opportunity. I've used that term quite a few times, especially with my wife, going to the Maldives and other places. However, I'm probably never going to come to Guam again. So yeah, it's pretty cool. As a country, it is decent. It's an American territory, and the island is surrounded by reef. It was one of the places in the Second World War that the Americans had to fight the Pacific War with. An island just north of here is called Saipan. And it was pretty a hard fought country. The island, as well as being surrounded by reefs, has got lots of cliffs, jungle, and as we're driving around, you could just imagine what it's like to land here and fight through those positions and get into the mountains to clear out the Japanese from the island. There's two military bases here. There's a naval military base and an air force base. But the island itself isn't really that big. It's 30 miles long, 15 miles wide. So you can drive the length of it in an hour and a half if you want to. It's not that big at all. Waves. Like I said, the island's surrounded by reefs, but to be honest with you, those reefs pretty much sit square on with the with both sides of the oceans, the Pacific and the Philippines. So you can see the swell coming in. I'm literally sat stood on the balcony of the Hilton Hotel, looking out towards the Philippine side of the island, the Philippine Ocean. And the swell's just coming in, but it's 2 to 3 foot, maybe a little bit bigger. It's building up onto the reef and just slamming down. So there's only a select few locations around the ocean, around the island. One of the places that we've been using as a location to teach beginners is, I don't want to do this any injustice, if I'm honest, I keep getting it wrong, is Telephoto Beach. It's one of the only bays on the east side of the island towards the Pacific that doesn't have a reef in front of it. So it's a little bay, a little sand bay, really fine grained sand, little river mouth coming into it, but it's got some nice little waves coming into the bay because it doesn't have a reef in front of it. So we've been teaching down there. We've been taking a group every single day. We've just done 7 days. We've got another 5 days to go. Groups between 8 and 12 people, teaching them how to surf. And we've been using the infamous Wavestorm boards that the Americans have quite popular as a foamy plastic bottom board, soft top on the top. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so today is, what day is it today? Today's Monday. So Saturday and Sunday, Saturday evening we went down and had a look at one of the spots that's by a river mouth, and we didn't think there was going to be anything coming in. The forecast said it was 0 to half a foot big, and we got there and it was, shoulder head height. went out, scored some awesome waves. Sunday morning when we went down was really, really busy. It was well overhead high. The locals dominated the peak. It was quite funny actually because there was a guy there and we went out. We just sat with the pack and he goes, "You respect, you have manners?" And he started going on about this British guy that had just turned up and was dropping in on everybody. So he must have pissed a lot of people off. But yeah, we didn't get the main waves, the main sets that came through, so we had to take the smaller ones. But I was happy with that. All the locals were on the main break. It is the weekend and it is their local spot. So I took my turn. We all did. The guy that I'm with, Andy, who's a warrant officer in the Royal Marines as well. He's coaching with me out here, and we just took our time. Took a few of the inside waves. I mean, those inside waves, they weren't like small by any means. They were good shoulder, head high. But I've got my 7.0 with me, a little bit of volume in it. It's a flat rockered channel bottom twin fin. Got lots of volume in it. Not that we talk about volume when we're talking about surfboards. So it's got about 48 litres in it. So I managed to get into the waves, pretty early and set my line and go. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Really shallow though. At some points I was kicking out on that Saturday evening and it was less than knee deep, which isn't particularly ideal. But there you go, a little bit of coral stuck in my feet. If you watch my Instagram videos, I'm not sure they're that entertaining, but and yeah, and then the Sunday morning, Sunday evening, we went back. And had some more waves. Went back this morning, 3 people out. Went back Monday morning, which is this morning. And oh man, we had such a good session. We went down about 6:15. There were 3 people out. Had so many glassy waves. Again, it wasn't macking like it was on the Sunday, but yeah, it was amazing. Just trading waves. There was a friendlier vibe today. A couple of locals, a few Americans, and then us out. So altogether there was 6 of us when we got there. It was brilliant. Went down again this evening. So as I'm doing this podcast, I'm looking out, and there's a bit of wind on it, so we didn't go in. But we're going to try again tomorrow morning. But yeah, the locals here, they can be quite finicky. But I think if you pay your respects and you don't just take every single wave that comes through, you talk to people as well. I think we're quite guilty of as a society as not socialising. And I think if you talk to people and ask them how their day's going and what they think the waves, have they got any good waves, I think that goes a long way. All right, let's talk a little bit about the WSL event that happened last week. You had the WSL Finals, different format. Started off with 5th seed against 4th seed. The winner of that went through to face the 3rd seed. Winner of the 3rd versus 4th or 5th seed went through to face the 2nd, and so on and so forth. And then once the final person got through to the final to go against number 1, they did a 3-heat wave-off. So basically, it was best of 3 heats, which is a super cool format. So in the finals for the men, you had Gabriel Medina against Philip Toledo. And man, those guys are just boosting some mega airs, and it was epic to see. Go to YouTube and have a look at those finals, or go to the WSL website and watch the replays. It's pretty impressive. But congratulations to Gabriel Medina, who won that. And then in the women's final, you had Carissa Moore and Tatiana Weston-Webb. Again, 2 really on-form women. Carissa Moore, man, she's absolutely throwing some skyrockets and spraying to the air that makes it rain. Absolutely crazy. And Tatiana this season has come on absolutely on fire. She is 100% better than she was, pre-COVID season. So much power in her turns, and yeah, they had a really hard fought contest, but Carissa came out on top, which, to be honest with you, she was in my she was the woman to go through on my fantasy league, and yeah, she won it out all outright, which was pretty cool. The surf in the UK at the moment is absolutely pumping. You know, I can't complain. I'm the other side of the world, and I'm seeing bits of footage from North Devon and Cornwall of people getting, you know, some really nice barrels, really nice waves, which is pretty cool, to be honest with you. It's been a bit of a flat spell for, you know, what, a couple of months over the summer, so yeah, it's good to see that people are getting waves, and stoked about it as well. You know, I mean, I've been quite grumpy over the summer anyway, with all the, let's call them grockles and emmets coming down, the tourist industry. But at the end of the day, you know, that's where people make a living out of. And no, I think I'm quite lucky. And people that live in North Devon, Devon area and Cornwall, you know, we sometimes we take for granted that we actually live in a tourist destination. You know, sometimes you should really accept the fact that, you know, people are going to come on holiday from all over the country. So it's quite interesting actually, because there's a Instagram page called Snarl Up, which is all about people driving down the little country lanes, especially in North Devon between Croydon, Putsborough and Putsborough and Woolacombe. You know, there's been some absolutely crazy events going on there, especially the Barnstable Council sending buses from Barnstable to Croydon, Georgian, down those little single lanes. And we're not talking small buses, we're talking, you know, double-decker buses, which is absolutely insane. And half the time they haven't got anyone on them. So, yeah, if you want a good Instagram site to have a little chuckle at, go to Snarl Up and have a look at those guys. I think it's Blakey's brother, actually, who does it. It's pretty cool. English Nationals have just happened, and so the results for that: men's longboard, Ashley Broughton comes in 4th to make his return after a long layoff. Ashley is a previous podcast guest, so if you want to listen to what he has to say, you know, go back a few months and have a little listen to that. Then Jack Gregorius came in 3rd, Sam Bleakley came 2nd, and obviously Ben Skinner came in 1st place. And by all accounts, you know, those guys did themselves absolutely proud and put on an absolute mega performance. Women's longboard then, Jenny Pendlebury came in 4th, Beth Leafield came in 3rd, Tina Beresford came in 2nd, and another previous guest to the podcast, Emily Curry, came in 1st in the women's longboard. So congratulations to all them guys. Shortboarding then, Jiu-Jitsu partner and Yama Jiu-Jitsu practitioner under Ben Ruth. Broham came in 4th, Josh Ash came in 3rd, Stan Norman, the absolute ripper, came in 2nd, and congratulations to Luke Dillon for winning the Shortboard Open and the English British Nationals. Women's, we already spoke about her, came in 1st in the women's longboard. Emily Curry came in 4th in the women's Shortboard Open. Lucy Campbell came in 3rd. Ali Barton came in 2nd, and Lauren Sandland came in 1st. So congratulations to you guys on putting on an amazing performance. That's me really for this week's podcast. Nice short one. The next few guests that are going to be coming on are going to have some jiu-jitsu guys. I've got a few shapers lined up. I know I already said that previously, but I've been super busy, you know, setting up my own business and a few other things. Unfortunately, life gets in the way, so I'm trying to pump these podcasts out. That's why I, you know, went back to doing 2 weeks. But yeah, well, you know, I've not got a lot to say really, except you know, keep everybody having fun, keep catching some waves, keep training jiu-jitsu, and if you're interested in some military stories, you know, some pretty impressive self-endeavour stuff. You know, there's some guys previously that I've talked to, like John Thompson, Matt Hoey, Matt Wildgoose, those are really cool guys. Go and listen to those. And any of the previous podcasts, I've had some really cool world champion surfers on. You know, Tom Carroll, earlier ones. Ben Skinner. Again, Ben won the Longboard Open. And yeah, I've done a couple of podcasts. We've done a couple of podcasts with him. And just let's top the longboarding off. You know, I've got guys like Devon Howard, Funny Man, Funny Men. We've got the Raglan Surf Report guy, Luke Sederman, and John Wayne Freeman. You know, go and listen to those ones. Some really interesting guys. So, hey, stay safe, guys, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another podcast. Yo!